Critical fail.
Oh my god.
All right, here we go. Episode 1 of our campaign. Long time in the making. Really excited to get this started. Without further ado, let's jump in. Anarul is the world. It is marked by devastation, once having served as the official battleground or the arena of the gods. It was once a place where divine beings of the utmost power settled their differences in the least pleasant of ways. And these conflicts left the land scarred in unimaginable ways. The Great Divide, a catastrophic rift in the earth over 3,000 miles long and 500 miles wide, separates Anarul's major landmass into northern and southern halves. The northern half, known as Eravane, contains a high plateau known as the Broken Waste. The Broken Waste is a circular plateau, scarred with dark rifts and gloom-filled canyons, and hanging over this rocky expanse is the cataclysm in waiting known as Pending Judgement, an 8-mile-long spear of rock cast down from the heavens and hovering just a couple hundred feet above the surface of the world. Its hot and furious approach devastated the land and created the Broken Waste. Yet something sublimely powerful suddenly arrested its motion. And so it has stood these last 100 years, hanging over the world like an accent mark, causing a pronounced change in the land and the lives bound to it. Pending Judgment brought about the end of the Draconis Imperium and the dragonborn hegemony over the continent. And while neo-imperialists battle resistance fighters over the ruins of once great cities, out in the waste, frontier folk try to scratch a living off the rock and rebuild the remnants of what once was. Life in the Broken Waste is as hard as the granite that marks the ground. Agriculture is limited to the bottoms of those canyons that are shallow enough to reach. Wood is scarce and implements made from it are greatly valued. Travel is difficult as the ground is rough and uneven and is usually by clawfoot-drawn wagons across a handful of rutted roads. Somehow, someway, you all have found yourselves in the town of Cordis, the gateway to the Broken Waste. Industry and ingenuity mark the people here, who have done better than most in making a life in the shadow of Pending Judgment. Cordis was quite literally torn in half by a gorge, but her citizens decided to build downward in search of rich soil, mineral wealth, and clean but foul-smelling water. Bridges span the crevasse, connecting the multiple tiers of structures built into the canyon walls, and an animal-powered lift ferries people and goods from top to bottom. The bottom of the gorge has come to be known as Deep Crack. The east side of the gorge is East Crack, and at the outer edge of West Crack lies the Quarry, a 3-tiered ring of concentric circles dug into the granite. When no mineral deposits were found, it was abandoned, but some enterprising citizens decided to turn it into an arena where they could host nightly bouts between the locals. Some fights are to decide the local champion, while others are to settle petty scores. Regardless, it is here you've all met and become somewhat acquainted with each other as either combatants, organizers, or spectators of this makeshift fight club. One of those organizers is one Sterling Miles. Sterling, do you want to describe your character to us?
Well. I'm Sterling Miles, or as most call me, Smiles. I'm just here to make friends, have a good time. I used to run with a theater company called the Scorched Stage Theater Company. We had a good run, lots of great shows, but tragedy did strike, and I had to move on. And now I go job to job, just looking to make peace and help people get along.
Very good. So Smiles, Mr. Sterling Miles, you are the barker for the quarry. You summon the combatants to the ring. You announce them in grand eloquent style, harping on the victories each one has accomplished in the past, and trying to pit these combatants against each other in this fight. Not really to the death. No one really loses more than a tooth here in these fights, but trying to create the drama of the spectacle here is your job. And as the evening's festivities at the quarry are wrapping up one night, a small boy, a rather dirty, disheveled lad, wearing the typical browns of the folk of Cordis, approaches you with a letter, and kind of rubbing like a snot nose against his sleeve, just kind of hands you this scroll, to which is tied a small pouch, and as you take it, you feel the familiar jingle of coins inside the pouch. Much like that. What do you do?
Thank you, lad. I trust I know what this is for. But why don't you tell me?
The boy, he just kind of stands there, like, awkwardly staring at his feet. He's like, kind of wiping his nose every now and then. He just kind of like sticks out a hand at you.
Now tell me, there's something in this bag for you, if you just tell me who sent you.
I don't know who it was. It was a man.
You can do better than that. And I take the bag.
Okay. It was a man. He was a tall man. I don't know who he was. I never seen him before.
Tall man. Did this man have hair?
Yeah, he had hair.
Where did you find the hair? On his face? On his head?
It was on his head, and then there was some coming out of his ears, and I saw some in his nose too.
Oh, and tell me, what color was this hair, my lad?
Well, it was all kinds of colors. I saw a black, and I saw a white, and I saw more black and more white.
Fantastic. And do you know what type of creature this man was? He looked like me, a human? Yeah.
Except not like you. I mean, he was a human, but he was taller than you are.
I see. All right. Well, what's your name, my boy?
My name's Clovis.
Clovis, of course. Clovis, do you have family here in Cordis?
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, and I take out whatever the smallest denomination coin is in the bag, and I toss it to him.
Okay. The first coin you look in, it's a pouch full of gold pieces, all gold pieces.
In that case, I take a piece of silver from my pocket, and I give him that.
All right. You pull out a silver from your own pocket. You give it to him. He seems pretty bright-eyed at the prospect of having received a whole silver piece from you, and clutches it tightly to his chest. He looks at you. Thank you, and he scampers off into the night.
Don't forget this.
He's already gone. He's already forgotten. You can tell. All right. Yeah. So you have a scroll in your hand, and you have this pouch.
Yeah. Let me read the scroll. What does it say?
All right. You read the scroll. I will text you all. I will read it aloud, so everyone has equal opportunity here. It reads, "To Mr. Sterling Miles, who balks nightly at the quarry." I don't know why I'm reading that accent. You don't really know who it is. "Dear sir, your event has caused quite the stir among the people of Cordis, providing great entertainment for those interested in witnessing feats of strength and heroism. I have personally attended such a performance several nights ago and was astounded with the potential your show displays. I applaud your efforts and would like to discuss a business proposition with you. While I am no showman as yourself, the gods have seen fit to bless me with capital and an enterprising acumen. If you would do me the honor of visiting my abode with the members of your troop listed below, I'm sure we could come to a mutually beneficial understanding. Please do come this evening as soon as your performance is ended. Enclosed, please find a modest sum, hopefully indicating the earnestness of my request." I can be found at North 401 Deep Crack. Warm regards, Calabasas J. Carothers. And below the signature is a list of participants in this evening's set of Corey battles. And you read Gargal the Brute, Lucius the Raptor, Jamila Two Knives, Valfyre Dustwood, Yinny Kaleva, and Hror Embermane.
All right, and right now I forget the show. The fight's currently going on. This is the end of the fight. But where's the time?
Yeah, this is the end of the night's performances. It's about like say 9-10 o'clock in the evening. People are kind of wrapping up and have already started filtering out and taking the long, like 10-ish minute walk back to Cordis.
All right, great. Lucius, Rory, come over here. Grab Valfyre too.
Are we all in the same area?
Yeah, all of you are there. The first name that Smiles calls out is that of Lucius. Mike, go ahead and describe your character.
So upon hearing his name called, a dark feathered Aarakocra dressed in monkly robes turns and kind of does a bird-like walk, which, you know, is going to involve a lot of this, towards Smiles and goes, "Oh, man, what's going on, man? What you need, bro? We're just kind of chilling after today's, combat, man."
Lucius, you enjoy what we do here, right?
I mean, I prefer peace, but, this is something I'm just good at, man. And, when you're good at something, you don't do it for free, man.
Praise be. Well, I got an interesting proposition here.
Oh, lay it on me, brother. Man, what's going on? Yeah.
It seems there's somebody that's willing to pay us even more for what we do here, and I would hope it would be something that would bring the peace.
Peace is the name of the game, man. Let's do, whatever. And if we can make some cheddar, for the children, of course, I would never take this money, but, we can make some extra, cheddar here and there, that'd be super fly, man. Super cool.
And we could meet some new people, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool too, man. But whatever, man. I'm up for the experience, man. It's about where you get to. It's like the zen of it all, man. Namaste, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And have you seen Gargle or Yinny of late?
Yeah, man, they're right over there. They're playing dice, man. I don't get down with gambling, but they're just having a good time.
Well, they're in...
So as you point them out, Lucius, you do see the three of them huddled around a dice game that's going on, where they're rolling a bunch of d20s, and among the group you do see a particularly savage-looking Goliath, someone you know to be Gargal the Brute, massive in form, carrying a giant great axe. Ritual tattoos and scarification all over his face and his body, completely shaved head, and still wearing the blood fresh from the evening's battle. Next to him is a half-elf woman cloaked. This is Jamila Two Knives, and she is participating in the game, but you can see her kind of looking up and looking warily about every few seconds, watching her back very closely. And then finally, part of that troop, you see Yinny Kaleva, a dwarf woman, wearing nothing but two crossed bandoliers over the important bits. Well muscled.
Nice.
Hair in a raggedy ponytail, and flashing a wicked smile over at you, Smiles, with a lascivious kind of look in her eye, and she can make kind of like a kissy face at you every now and then.
If the bandoliers are crossed, they're not covering all the important bits.
It's very strategically crossed. And as she kind of looks over at you and smiles, you can see like her telltale sort of gap tooth smile, where she only has about like 4 teeth, each of them exceptionally large and dirty. So the 3 of them are there participating in this dice game.
Always a looker, she is.
Indeed.
Well, Lucius, please extend the invitation to our friends over there as well.
All right, man. Just chill for a second. I'll get right over there. And he kind of just starts doing his walk back, wings on his back, just kind of like, bouncing a little bit. And he goes, "Hey, bros and brosifses. Yeah, it's like, Smiles over there just kind of wants us to go over there and have a powwow or chit chat or, whatever is the socially acceptable term for what he wants us to do right now. We're just gonna go over there. So, maybe just stop, doing your dice thing, man."
At this, Gargle abruptly just stands up, kicking dice everywhere, and says, "Powwow! You say powwow? I give you good powwow tonight and fight, right? Right,
Hey, man, I'm not interested in, you as a sexual partner, so no powwow for me, thank you very much, man, but I wish you the best. All right?"
He slaps you really hard on the back. Feathers go flying everywhere. You make a good joke, Birdman. I not beat you so hard next time. And he walks over towards Smiles.
He's like, yeah.
Jamila Two Knives just kind of gives you like a scrutinizing look, kind of looks you up and down, and then walks over and follows suit. Yinny, before the 2 of them have even left, is already walking towards Smiles, eager to just be next to the charming fellow. All right, what do you guys do?
Yeah, I'm just sidling back over to Smiles, waiting for everyone else to join up.
So I've called out for Valfyre and Rory as well. Have they joined us?
Yeah. So Valfyre, tell us what you are doing at this moment when Smiles kind of calls out to you.
And Raj, just for clarification, are there like benches that go up above the pits or whatever that exist?
Yeah. So it's like a circular pit with like 3 tiers. It was a quarry. And they've just been kind of converted into a makeshift arena. So there's like 3 tiers of like, what do you call those? Like bleachers kind of thing, yeah. Bleachers,
all right. So I imagine Valfyre is sitting at the top of the bleachers, waiting for information about the next battle or fight. But upon hearing his voice, he hops down. And so what you see, what most people might mistake as a smaller human child, as Valfyre comes into focus, you could tell it's more of a taller halfling. Hood over his face, silver gray hair popping out. He has a deep scar running across his right cheek, that's still red raw, that goes under his leather armor that he's wearing. On his side, on his right side, he has a large assortment of pouches and tokens, animal claws, heads, bone heads, a whole collection of creatures along with those pouches. On his hip, he has a sheathed scimitar sword that's currently sheathed. And he walks down, jumping down. He looks very rough and tumbled. Ready for a fight as always, and he says, "Smiles. What did you say? Could barely hear you up at the top. Are we battling?"
Valfyre, there will be a new battle for us. Something you won't be able to resist if you're in. It sounds quite intriguing, really.
It sounds like, man, it's gonna lead to some peace, which is always a good thing, man.
Peace is always the hope. Coin is guaranteed.
Damn you, Aarakocra. Why are you always so calm? When will you let me ride your back? I've told you the stories of my people and my desire to ride birds. yet you never allow me. Perhaps this is the fight. I can jump on your back. You can carry around battle and soar through the air. Tell me it is time.
Hey, man, I told you that's offensive, man. That's like,
know.
no, man. My back is precious. That's where my wings are, man. You can't ride my back. That is tantamount to like, sexual harassment, my friend. So once again, please stop it, man. That's just, you're offending me as an Aarakocra, let alone a monk, man.
Gentlemen, I'm sure we could work out a compromise. Like maybe Valfyre rides your back on Tuesdays.
I've offered.
Tuesday is a holy day for me, man. Can't do it.
That's canon now. Yeah.
Next time you go for a long ride, you're welcome to jump on when I turn into a warhorse. You know that is something I can do. But fine, I understand. Someday, perhaps.
Yeah, man. That warhorse sounds lovely, but I just fly. So, no need for four-legged, terrestrial. We're going with some T word to describe, man, it's cool. It's cool. I may be Southern right now, but I need to change it back to SoCal.
The important thing is that you're laid back.
That's it.
Valfyre cracks his knuckles, knowing that he knew the response already, and just laughs to himself.
All right. So while Lucius tries to rediscover his accent, Hror Embermane, you have also been called out to by Smiles. What is your character doing at this time?
I want to point out Hror has a passive perception of 8, so he has not heard, definitely. Hror is off in the corner. Hror, or Rory as his friends call him, is off in the corner. He's actually a pretty decently sized bugbear. He's got his spell book out. He's studying some spells. He's taking some notes. He's working through. I think Rory is sitting there with oblivious to what he looks like. He's a bugbear with some burn patches all over his fur, and after tonight's fight, I'd like to think he's got like the Urukai, blood print on his face that he hasn't wiped off. Rory in general, just likes people and doesn't understand why people would be afraid of him because he's a nice, friendly bugbear. He wears a top knot. He's got tiny spectacles so that he can read because he's a little bit farsighted and not nearsighted. He's a wizard, if you can't tell by the spell book, and he carries around a rapier with him, which I think is a little bit odd for a bookish guy, although maybe not for a bugbear. So yeah, he's still sitting down there, just taking notes.
Okay. So Smiles, you've gathered the troop, everyone except for Hror, or Rory as he prefers to be called.
Yeah, I turn out, I'd say, Rory!
Oh, hey there, boss. What's
here,
going on there?
Come on over here, friend.
Oh, okay, are we good in another fight there? What are we gonna do here?
Rory, you love the fight, don't you?
Well, the thing is, I can kind of beat anyone, even the stinky bird. Most of the time it's me that wins.
I know you are such a fantastic little bear.
Who are you calling little, bud?
You know what I mean. I have a proposition for us. Something that might involve more fighting.
Okay, yes.
No other details needed?
Nope, good.
Fantastic. Let's make our way. Hey, does anybody know where I could find a deep crack?
I've only been here a little bit, but I think it's down that way. Yeah, we have to go. Yeah, go further down.
I just need some crack, some deep crack. That's where we're headed next.
Yeah. So
we've heard that joke before. Smiles. It's not fun. It wasn't funny the first time, and now not the 100th time. I know this. Those in the stands laugh at your humor, but it's petty, my friend.
I never get it. I don't. There is a place called Deep Crack.
Man, oh my god.
Oh, Valfyre, your fun-loving natures.
Commit to it. Commit.
No. Raj knows. Sometimes
this happens.
The frequency of my accents sometimes just need to be like honed in. So like it.
Mike, you're Jamaican me crazy again.
Yeah, I've never played a character that's going to have more than one accent.
That's probably what I should be doing because
Yeah.
I do have more than one accent accidentally.
What I realized from session 0 is that I cannot actually switch between two accents.
Yeah.
And it's going to come out wrong. So enjoy this for the next X sessions.
That's
N
great.
sessions.
That's gonna work out. It's gonna work out.
Awesome.
I forget what I was gonna say, so go ahead.
Yeah, that's all right. So basically, you guys are familiar with the address as listed, or at least how to find the address. So Deep Crack, of course, is at the bottom of this, or within this gorge, there are multiple tiers. So the first level of Cordis is basically the surface level. The second level is the next level below that within the gorge. And both sides of the gorge have been built with like buildings inside the rock and many platforms and rope and wood bridges and ladders kind of connecting these different neighborhoods. So 401 means that the fourth level down, which is one level up from the bottom of the gorge, is where the house is, and all the odd numbers are kind of like on one side of the gorge, and even numbers on the other side. So 401 actually takes you to sort of the very southern end of the gorge, on the fourth level.
All right. So do we make our way?
Oh, sorry, on the northern end. Sorry, on the northern end.
Oh,
What's the payout?
say that again.
What's the payout, Smiles, for doing this?
It appears handsome, nearly as handsome as yourself.
Is he handsome?
Flattery. I am the most.
You're all handsome in my mind.
I was the most beautiful looking of my clan. I'm glad you noticed.
Always notice you. I see you. I see you.
And at that moment, I turn into a smaller size looking. I speak the words of magic, and I turn into a smaller version of Smiles. Just and smile back at him using the disguise self spell.
Okay. So a miniature version of Smiles is kind of smiling back at you with your own smile, a little mini-me version of Smiles.
So handsome. So handsome.
So
you
handsome.
look good. You look good in any skin.
I look good in any skin. All right. Well, if it's worth our time and money, or just pure entertainment, perhaps one of us will die, and it will be glorious, and we can bury you and plant a tree. It'll be great.
Bro,
Or maybe we'll all live. And
I go like this to Jamila Two Knives. Oh, I think it's gonna be her.
She gives you like a cold stare of pure daggers just firing straight at you from her eyes. She has not said a single thing and has this very stern look upon her face.
All right. So, and I may have missed part of it because I was doing something else. So we got this note, and usually we fight in the pit, but we're being asked to fight outside the pit. Is that right?
we're just being asked
to
go
meet.
ahead. We've just been asked to give audience to somebody who thinks they could use our skills, and we'll
Oh,
pay
I see.
handsomely.
I got it.
I think we
I
should at
don't know.
least hear them out.
Yeah, dude, let's totally go hear them out, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's chill.
Yeah,
I do.
Lucius.
I
So
am
positive.
looking for information, so perhaps we can use this money for more information. I accept this as the leader of this troop. I will guide us.
Broseph, man, your leadership is welcome, man. Smiles, would
And
you
I
like
just walk
to
off,
compete
and I-
for leadership, man? Because it sounds like you also want to be leader here, bro.
I'm just happy to enable all of you to do your best work.
That sounds like servant leadership to me, man.
Whatever keeps us together and keeps the peace is my drive and goal.
I like that, man. That has a nice ring. Let's go. All right.
All right. So, so the four of you, plus the others in the troop, Gargle, Jamila, and Yinny, make your way out of the quarry area, which is on the western end of Cordis, and you travel a well-worn plank road back into town. The roads here are all planks of wood, as the granite ground is hard, is rocky, is pitted with crags, uneven, and not conducive to travel, and so wooden planks have been laid everywhere in order to facilitate travel. These tiny little bridges that kind of hover over the surface of the broken waste. And as you follow this road back into town, even this late in the evening, you can start to hear the carousing, the continued carousing of the villagers here in Cordis. Lights springing up in the homesteads and in the various inns that are kind of dotting the landscape. As you approach, you pass through crowds of people either heading home for the evening or finding their way towards the nearest bar or tavern. This area in particular of Cordis, West Crack, is known for its carousing and its pubs that people are at through all hours of the night, and many who end up there early in the morning as well. As you make your way through this area, you know the fastest way for you to get down to the address that was listed down at the 4th level of Deep Crack is via the lift. This massive elevator, essentially, that travels up and down a shaft that was carved into one side of canyon, and is powered by, as you're kind of coming upon it, you can see is powered by claw feet, these large horse-sized anteater-like creatures with these long snouts and mouths at the end of these snouts, and kind of rough textured pebbled skin, and known primarily for their feet, which bear 4 distinctive long sharp claws that allow them to grip the broken ground of the broken waste, and allow them to even travel vertically with the power of their feet. They're incredibly slow, and not really much faster than walking, but it really beats having to walk across this really rough terrain, and there's really no other way to get around in this place if you're trying to leave Cordis. And so you see these claw feet. You see a group of 4 of them kind of tethered to a giant wheel and turning in a perpetual circle, drawing a massive cable. And as that cable is being pulled, you see this massive lift coming up just as you're arriving to the surface of the canyon. And a bunch of people in wagons and goods are kind of coming out, having spent the day down in Deep Crack, are finishing their days and moving off to their homes kind of on the surface. You're in the plaza. You're in Cordis's plaza, essentially, the main square where all the commerce happens. The town's main hall is here. The city's barracks are here. All the shops that cater to the wealthiest of the clientele are here. And in the plaza, as people are kind of dispersing for the night, or maybe just getting their evening started, you hear the familiar ranting of a figure, a dragonborn who is known as a fixture here in Cordis's plaza. His name is Merciless, and he preaches endlessly about the virtues of the Draconis Imperium, the old dragonborn empire that spanned the continent and was brought down by the arrival of pending Judgement, which, by the way, if you look over to the northern horizon, you can see almost like a small elongated moon hanging over the horizon and cascading this faint luminescent glow, these effervescent sort of light sparkles kind of drifting off of it and floating down around the side. It's beautiful, except for the fact that 100 years ago it almost destroyed the world, were it not for some miracle. And also knowing that beneath are the ruins of Dendrith, the former capital of the Draconis Imperium, now shrouded in mystery, perpetually in the shadow of pending Judgement. And many adventuring groups have gone in there to find the wealth of Dendrith and not returned. So some mystery lies afoot there. But back to the present, you hear Merciless as you're approaching and kind of passing by in mid-rant, despite the fact that the crowds are dispersing. You hear him with his haughty, imperious kind of voice. And would we not sacrifice some of these so-called freedoms for peace? Would we not see our children and their children given security so they might prosper? And as you're walking by, Hror, he looks at you pointedly, and his tone changes. In the golden era of the Imperium, there were no lesser races. There were no masters and no slaves. We saw the world as you see the broken waste, deep fractures along racial lines. We spread the cause of equality and stopped the ceaseless bickering between dwarf and orc, between elf and troll, between human and goblin kin. It is not too late to act if you wish to see the world restored to balance. Join the cause of the Draconis Imperium! And this caterwauling goes on for quite some time as you walk past and kind of fades off into the distance. His attention towards you as you walked away is kind of waning and moving on to other subjects.
Does he pay any special attention to me as an Aarakocra?
Make an insight check.
All right, I'm gonna roll.
First roll of the campaign, technically.
First roll of the campaign. It's a natural 20 with +3. It's a 23.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it really? Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's amazing.
That's a good way to start, you guys. All right.
It's all down. It's all downhill.
That's right. That's right. Never again. I will never again. I start my drought now.
Yeah.
So as you're kind of looking at him, he seems very fixated on Hror, and does not seem to pay the rest of you any mind. There seems to be something special about about Hror's race as a bugbear, and you can see he made a pointed display in his language to call it out when he mentioned, the fight between human and goblin kin. All these things were erased under the auspice of the Imperium.
Yeah, so then Lucius, kind of observing this, turns to Hror and goes, "Hey, Rory, man, you just gotta ignore this guy, man. Just stay out of politics, man. Just leave it alone. Don't let him call you out."
I mean, if the Draconis Imperium was so great, then why did it fall,
Right, man. See, now you're seeing it. He's talking about, losing freedoms for peace. I see those things as intertwined, man. More freedom, more peace.
Having probably only known Lucius for the few weeks or so, I don't know how much I've gotten, we've sparred, but we haven't really discussed a lot.
Yeah. At this point, he's flying backwards in your face describing this. So he's not giving you an opportunity to ignore. He's like, "Don't you understand, man? It's just this is just, freedom and peace, man. It's so beautiful, man."
Yeah. Lucius, I don't know if anyone's ever told you, but you smell like you rolled out of a wet nest. It's not great, but I'm with you on the freedom stuff. And this guy I don't like.
Smells so springtime-like. It's beautiful, man. Thank you. Oh,
and Raj, as we go by him, I think I've gone by him before because we know who this guy is. I will just grab a little copper wire from my components bag and subtly point probably behind me in a sense, almost through me, and do what I've done I think several times whenever I pass him, is just to cast message and whisper, "Oh man, the Imperium will never come again. Good try, buddy." And just keep going.
All right. Make a general charisma check there.
Charisma. It's a straight roll. 5.
All right. So as you whisper your message, you can see, and you've probably had this interaction with him several times as he's been kind of eyeing you. You can tell that he was kind of expecting something as you walked by, and he was, just sort of waiting for it. And as you kind of message him, this sort of haughty, proud creature, this massive red-scaled dragonborn, dressed in impeccable armor, by the way, as if he were some sort of general in an army. Maybe not a general, but certainly as a commanding officer of some kind, with highly polished armor, massive greatsword strapped to his back, in full-on regalia of the Imperium. Kind of looks at you and stares you down as you walk by, and just out of the corner of your eye, as you're about to turn your head, you see a smile kind of curl, on his scaled lips, and then he goes back to ranting and chanting at the crowd.
Cool.
Raj,
go ahead.
one thing. While we were earlier or now, Valfyre is very suspicious of this letter because I don't think it's something we've done before. So I think you'd be just trying to keep an eye on to see if anyone's following them or anything like that, especially that weird boy that came by.
Yeah, go make a perception check.
Okay, so that was a 2. All right, so 8.
8. You notice nothing or anyone particularly suspicious in the area, and no one's paying particular mind.
Coast is clear.
Oh, thanks there, bud. You're a lot better at that than me. I'll trust you.
All right. And you all approach the lift. You make it there, and as you make it there just in time to see the last of the crowd filtering out. Several wagons go by, several farmers. All the agriculture is kind of done at the bottom of Deep Crack, kind of returning to their homes, and the lot of you, the 4 of you plus the other 3 gladiators, enter the lift, and along with you all are 4 more villagers who enter. You see an old, feeble man kind of making his way with a cane, like tap, tap, tap against the stone floor or the wooden floor. A pregnant woman leading her young son alongside her, wearing a kerchief over her blonde hair, and relatively drab sort of brown dress, marking her as not someone of particular wealth. And then another woman, a younger woman, but on crutches, and kind of slowly making her way inside. You can see she's got some one of her ankles is kind of bandaged, some temporary wound of sorts, it seems. And,
Lucius would have been trying to help those weaker or seem to be like needing a little help.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
Come on in, little girl. Like, oh yeah, let me help you. Oh yeah, that looks like it hurts. Oh wow. And
Okay.
like helping the mother.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you help each of them on like one by one. The woman kind of nods her thanks. The son kind of like stares wide-eyed at you as if he'd never seen an Aarakocra before. Quite the sight, not a particularly common sight here in Cordis or anywhere on the Broken Waste, really. The woman on crutches kind of nods appreciation. The old man, as he's kind of tapping you kind of help him on board. He takes a moment to stop and pats your clawed hand. Thank you, my boy, and continues to walk onto the platform. You hear the shouting of a dwarven woman. All right, lowering the lift, and you can hear the familiar sound of Wegla, the female dwarf who is the lift operator, and basically forces the claw feet in one direction or another to kind of lift or lower the elevator, the lift here. And it's a good 20-minute procedure to actually change the direction of the claw feet and get them to face in the opposite direction as they move to kind of lower the lift down further into Deep Crack.
Raj, real quick, did any of the 4 other NPCs look injured at all, or they just look tired and?
Yeah, the woman. I mean, so the woman on crutches is definitely injured in some way.
Okay.
She's got a bandage around her ankle.
Okay.
The old man just looks
old.
Like
all
he's
right.
seen a lot
So
of life.
Valfyre would be like, reach into his pocket and pull out some good berries. I think they're pretty large. So, and I'll just give her one. Say, here. And just give her a good berry.
To the old man or to?
Just to the lady that's injured.
Oh, the lady that's injured. Got it. Okay, yeah, sure. You hand the good berry over.
Or at least I tried to give it to her. I'm like, Here, berries.
Okay. Make a persuasion check.
Can I be right next to him going, oh, he's so nice, you should take him, you should take him. It's a huge bugbear.
Yeah, huge. But yeah, I'll say make that persuasion check with disadvantage because
Perfect.
This massive, monstrous creature. Oh, you should take the berries. Take the berries.
Okay. Persuasion, you said?
Yeah, with disadvantage.
All right. 8.
You're welcome.
And I imagine the berries have like lints on them. Like they don't look very appetizing. They just like come out like kind of like a lollipop that's rolled around in like the sand or something like that from the sand pits. And I'm just like, these will heal you.
Yeah, these have been in your pocket for a little while.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
not the freshest crop of good berries you've made. And with the encouragement of Rory, it's not going over super well. She does take one out of politeness and is just kind of looking at it like, oh, thanks. I think
I take it out of her hand. I kind of dust it off and clean it, and I say, "No, you really should try it. He means so well."
Hey, make a persuasion check on that.
That is 28.
Wow.
Her demeanor instantly changes from pure skepticism and a mild bit of disgust tinging the edge of her mouth to a bright-eyed and cheering. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's just a fantastic evening, and you should enjoy it like the rest of us.
I will now. Thank you. She kind of rubs it against her shirt and then pops it into her mouth. And almost instantaneously, you can see that she almost loses her balance. At the same time, the lift starts with kind of like this juddering kind of start. But she basically drops her crutches and she starts stepping gingerly like on her foot, and it seems to be bearing her weight. She's like, "Whoa, that's miraculous! You did it!" And she's looking at you, smiles as she says that you healed me. How did you do that?
Don't thank me. Thank my friend Valfyre.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
She's looking down, and I look up and I say, just wanted to get you on your journey quicker. Don't forget, death is inevitable.
Oh my god. He's kidding. You have a wonderful life.
Yeah.
I just turn around.
I mean, technically, man, death is the ultimate peace. So, like, when you're most at peace when you're dead.
No.
So, Valfyre's not wrong, man.
No, it's supposed to be horrible. It's supposed to be really bad.
I'll chip it.
I've
And
seen
this
a
guy
lot of
right here
death.
has killed a lot. Yeah, so he would know. And I still got blood on my face.
Like your fur is all matted and like patchy. It's not.
And don't forget the three very vicious looking like
Yeah,
guys
there's
that are with us too.
Goliath.
Like Goliath.
So Smiles' interaction with her was enough for a moment to distract her from the bugbear and the ritually scarred Goliath and the creepy halfling with the hood. But now that he's kind of stepped away for a second, it's back to full on, just like, kind of standing over at the edge of the elevator, gingerly kind of limping, no longer needing crutches, but still limping a little bit on her foot. And as this interaction comes to a merciful end, you feel another juddering of the lift as it starts getting lowered, and you think to yourself, this is a little bit odd. And all of a sudden you hear like the twanging of rope and steel, and then this loud snap just sounds all of a sudden, and you can hear like the sound of a metallic cable just like whirring back into the recesses from whence it came. And suddenly the elevator lurches forward, causing a massive tilt and causing everyone to potentially lose their balance. Everybody make a dexterity saving throw.
Can do that.
Oh.
Oh. Rory with a 24. 19 on the dive.
All
20.
right. Very
26.
Valfyre with
Six.
15.
15. All right. All of you did really well on that. You managed to keep your balance. You slide forward on your feet, but manage to kind of plant your heels and stop in your tracks. The Gargal the Brute grabs onto the railing before he is kind of cascaded over, as does Jamila Two Knives, who manages to plant a dagger into the wooden floor of the lift, preventing it from sliding. But Yinny Kaleva, unfortunately, starts tumbling head over heels, and goes
Yinny!
over the edge of the lift. And you can hear the shout. "Ah!"
I dive after.
All right, we're going to roll for initiative to see if you get a chance to do that. So go ahead and roll for initiative, you guys.
Rolling.
Oof.
Oh!
All right,
14.
we'll do this. We'll do this in order. Who's got 20 plus? All right, 15 to 20. Wow, 10 to 15. All right, what do you got? What do you got?
I say,
No. What is your initiative count?
14.
14. All right.
10.
10 for Lucius. All right.
7
to
for
10?
Rory. 7 for
I got
Rory.
5.
Woo!
Rory 7 and Valfyre 5. All right. So at the top of the round, let's see. At the top of the round, Gargal decides, oh, this is not for me. And you see him plant his feet on the railing. The elevator has like sort of 2 metal bars all the way around. Other than that, it's completely open to the air. And you know that this is, except for the gates kind of on the front and the back, and you know this is to kind of let larger wagons and goods kind of be transported without too much hindrance. He plants his feet on the railing and jumps 10 feet out into the night, and he catches on to the end of a rope bridge that spans the chasm, and you can see him kind of swinging there and dangling, and starts to kind of like pull himself up at the end of his turn.
And Raj, can I pause you for 1 second? Something like this, I think we read about it, but something like this has happened recently that we would be like freaked out because this happens frequently or infrequently. Like just thinking
There's been
about
some
how much
sabotage going on in Cordis recently. Some weird
or
stuff.
there's some.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Yes. So you, you don't have a ton of time to process this information, but all of a sudden, like this rings like something you have heard before and some familiar kind of event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Right.
Jamila Two Knives, she decides that she has also had enough, and you see her run up the back of the lift, leap and reach the back wall of the channel that was carved into the canyon, and start to climb her way up to the top. You're only about 20 feet lowered from the surface, and she's just planting her daggers in and dragging herself up to the top. The old man, who had a higher initiative count than all of you, suddenly but did also fail his saving throw, loses his balance. His cane goes tumbling over the edge, and you see it fall into the night. He starts sliding, just kind of like does a face plant and slides on his belly towards the edge. It is your turn, Smiles.
I would like to reach out and try to grab the hand of the old man who's sliding away.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check to try to grab his hand as you are reaching out. He is going to try to make a check, a saving throw to try to catch you as you extend your hand and try to grab him.
All right, that's a 15.
Okay, 15. And he is a surprisingly agile old man as you reach out and kind of, not that agile. You reach out and you grab him by the ankle, basically, and his torso is kind of falling over the edge of the lift, but you kind of grab him, manage to keep your balance, and you prevent him from falling over. Smiles, are you doing anything else? That was your action to kind of grab him while he was falling by.
I think that's all I'm doing.
Okay. The injured girl, who was on the crutches but is now feeling a little bit better, she tumbles over the side and is holding on to one of the railings, the bottom rung of the railing, and is calling for help at the top of her lungs. Help! Please! Please help! And it is now Lucius's turn.
Actually, bonus action, I would like to bardically inspire Lucius and tell him, you are the one who is chosen to do this job the best.
All right. What does he get? He gets a
He
D6
chuffs up
right?
his like feathers, like
You get to chef, yeah.
Yeah, he gets a D6 inspiration die that can be added to one check, attack, or saving throw.
Awesome.
I can do that after I roll, or do I have to choose to declare it first?
After seeing the roll, but before knowing the outcome.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. All right, so you have bardically inspired Lucius, whose turn it is right now. Lucius, what are you doing?
Just to clarify, there's a girl hanging off the edge. Old man is sliding, and Smiles has him. And then there's a woman who already fell off the edge.
Yeah. So Yinny Kaleva, the dwarven woman who was among your warrior troop, she basically just cascaded over the edge and just fell off into the darkness.
All right, I'm gonna dive after her, like dive bomb, a la the raptor.
I'll say make a persuasion check, actually. Perception is what I mean.
Perception 17.
Yeah, I'll say that you heard a definitive splat, and it's already kind of too late for her. She's fallen over and met her. Well, you don't know if she's met her end, but she's fallen over, and there's nothing that can be done.
She was wearing a red shirt. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I see. Raj is like, Mike, let this happen, and don't. These characters are here for flavor.
Actually, technically by D&D, if you follow the rules, like if you fall very fast, very quickly.
Yeah,
like, I thought like.
Paul, do we like to follow the rules?
No, rule of cool is what I like to follow.
Point of order. I like to follow the rules.
So Lucius will fly out and grab the girl kind of by the arms and fly her up.
Okay.
So he's not even gonna try to put her back in the cart. He's gonna try to fly her to the top floor.
Got it. All right, go ahead and make an athletics check to attempt to carry her while you're flying. She doesn't weigh that much, so the DC is pretty low. We'll say it's DC 9.
Athletics, so 18.
Okay, no problem at all. You grab her, you're holding her as if she were a child, and she's maybe not much more than that, probably in her early teens. As she's about to let go, a sweaty hand kind of suddenly gives way, but you catch her just as she's falling, as you flap out your wings, swoop underneath her and catch her. She's grabbing your neck and kind of burying it deep inside your feathered chest before she's kind of looking around. It's like, what is this? What is this? Where am I? And she's coming to grips with her situation. All right, it is. We're gonna put the pregnant woman and her son on the same initiative count here, going after Rory and before Rory and Valfyre. She and her son huddle in a corner. They made their dexterity saving throw, clutching onto the corner of the lift, but you can tell she's having trouble holding on to the railing and trying to hold on to her son at the same time, who seems to be losing his grip on her and is starting to go into a panic as he's crashing about.
Raj, how far did I make it with the girl?
What's your fly speed?
I think it's 30 feet. Hold on. Give me a moment. Where is my fly speed?
Should be next to your where it says movement.
Walking.
Look underneath features and
features and traits.
Should say you have a fly speed of some kind. I think it's 30 feet, but
yeah, I think it's 30 feet as well. Oh, 50 feet. Flying speed, 50 feet.
Yeah,
50.
So the lift is like 20 feet tall.
Okay.
Let's say it's 15 feet tall, and the top of the lift is about 20 feet from the surface. So we'll say that you could have just about gotten to the surface. Not quite. You're still kind of in mid-flap as you're getting to the surface there.
I suspect I would need to go back to help someone else, so I'm going to do this as fast as possible.
You could also drop them off of the bridge, not to tell you what to do. But didn't the people jump to a bridge that was 10 feet or 20 feet away?
There are lots of like these rope bridges and some stone bridges like spanning the canyon between these platforms. There are plenty of platforms on which you could have left her like a ladder or some kind of like a building entrance, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I would have done that. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. We'll say maybe you flew another like 10, 15 feet to drop her off, and you've got like, you can have another 10 feet of movement. I'd say
to go back to find somebody else that was potentially falling. So
okay, so you're like 5 feet away from the lift at this point. About to get try to help with somebody else. Right. Cool. All right, and it's Rory's turn as you see the pregnant woman trying to hold on to her son, who looks like he's about to slip out of her grasp.
Yeah, I'll if I can climb down there and throw them on my back. While I'm a medium creature, I count as large because I'm a bugbear from what I can carry and where I am. So I'm just trying to toss them on my back and hold on to the railings.
Okay, you hold on. You manage to grab onto them. I'll say you got a pretty good grip on them. You're holding, the woman like in one arm, the kid like maybe slung over your shoulder, and you're kind of gripping the railing there. Valfyre, what are you doing?
So just two clarification points. So we're about halfway down on this lift. Does the lift run?
You're only like 20 feet down. The canyon goes down to like 120 feet. So you're not very far down.
Oh, not very far down. Yeah. Okay. Got it. And does it run along the wall or no? Just out in the open space?
There's a channel that was kind of carved into the wall, and the lift kind of runs in that channel.
Oh, I see. Got it. Okay. So, hear me out here. I love
it already.
All right. What I'm thinking about doing is casting Entangle, where I want to create weeds and vines that spread out from the walls to kind of grab at this elevator to hold it in place. I don't know. That's my thought.
Okay, I love it. I will say you go ahead and cast Entangle. Now.
It's a 20-foot square starting from a point within range.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's whatever thematically you think we could do.
Yeah. No, totally got it. I think it's a good idea. Also good opportunity for an ecology lesson here, as the only plant that grows out of the granite is this light blue grass known as sky grass. And as you cast your spell, you can see tufts of this grass kind of like eking out of the canyon wall, and all of a sudden the tendrils start to like intertwine with each other to become like thicker rope thickness type of cords that start to file out and wrap around. You hear like a crinkling sound start to wrap around the lift and hold it into place. You can feel the lift sort of right itself a little bit as the grip of the sky grass starts to grasp the elevator and pull it back towards the shaft. So you have stabilized the elevator. Very good. However,
go ahead. Oh no, just as a bonus action. No, that's it for now.
Okay, cool. However, at the top of the round, you hear another snap, ping, and another cable snaps from the top. And looking up, I'll say Lucius, you can see that there are 4 ropes that kind of attach to the top of this lift, and 2 of them have now snapped. The elevator would have lurched even further, creating even more of a tilt, but Valfyre, I'll say that your Entangle spell has managed to hold it in place for at least one more round.
Understood.
Gargal has climbed onto the bridge and is kind of looking at you all and shouts out, "This is hopeless situation! I flee now!" And you see him start walking off down the bridge towards the nearest tavern.
Towards the nearest tavern.
Jamila, 2 Knives, clambers her way to the top and manages to kind of look down. She casts like her head like over the edge of the cliffside. You see her give like a scrutinizing glare and shakes her head, and then that's the last you see of her. She's gone. The old man is struggling as he's dangling over the edge of the lift, With the cable having snapped and the elevator kind of shaking and juddering a little bit more, you've got a firm grasp on him, though, Smiles. So he doesn't really do anything. So, Smiles, it is your turn now.
Okay, I want to try to pull this old man kind of back up onto the platform so he can be safe.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check to pull him back up. I'm going to say the DC on this is 10.
That is a 20.
Oh. All right. So with one hand, you basically pull the old man forward, and you're practically kind of holding his legs up against your chest as you kind of dragged him up against you. I'll say with a 20, you can probably do something else real quick if you want to. That was pretty effortless for you.
Okay, and then who else is in danger right now?
So in immediate danger, it doesn't look like anyone. Lucius
One's been flown.
flew off with the girl.
I have
Hror
2.
has got the pregnant woman and the little boy. Like he's holding on to the lift and to them to try to keep them stable. But the lift looks like it's about to give.
Okay, can I safely escort the old man off the lift? Is there somewhere safe to get him?
So the lift is not at a landing of any kind, so there isn't really a place where you could just sort of step off. You could. There are a couple of options of bridges, like about 10 feet away from you, that you could potentially try to get to.
Do you have any rope?
Like, there's nothing.
Do you have any rope on your person?
I don't. I don't have any equipment at all. Because I didn't add any equipment.
He travels light. Well, I mean, kind of leave your
It's all in my other pack.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was supposed to put in there.
You don't have your crowbar and your rope, your explorer's kit?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing at all.
Right. What do you do, Miles?
So I'm gonna go ahead and get the old man in position, so that, and I'll yell out to Lucius and say, you've got to get him now, and yeah, that's what I will do.
Yeah, Lucius is basically flying towards him, being like, give it to me.
Okay. Next up is the injured girl who is clutching onto you tightly, Lucius. You managed to drop her off, and you've flown back to the lift. It's your turn.
I'm gonna try to snag who seems to be the closest to needing help, which is the old man. So I'm gonna fly, swoop, grab the old man, and try to lift him to the closest platform.
All right, go ahead and make an athletics check to try to fly with his weight on your person as well.
Athletics, you said?
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and use that bardic inspiration to augment my critical failure.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And I rolled a critical 1 on a 6. So I'm gonna get 1 plus 1 is 2 plus athletics 6.
6. All right. So
that's the lowest I could have possibly. Yeah.
So,
see you later, old man.
So you managed to grab on.
He gets caught in my
and
robes.
you do 1d10 worth of claw damage.
And since he only had 1 hit point,
he's dead.
So it's an awkward handoff between Smiles and Lucius, as the old man is kind of like, we'll say Smiles, you kind of like shove him off because you're about to lose your grip, and Lucius, you kind of awkwardly grab onto him. I will say that with a 6, you don't drop him or anything, but it's very difficult for you to kind of get your wings under you with the weight that's been suddenly thrust upon you, and you sink maybe about 10 feet. You keep in the air, but the weight has kind of brought you down a little bit. You managed to clear the lift, but you're just kind of hovering as hard as you can. It'll take you another round to kind of get your bearings again, and then fly to another point with your burden. So. All right.
Maybe the guy's not making it easy too. Maybe he's freaking out. He's just hitting you and like.
I mean,
hey man, slow down, man. Let go, man.
Upside down, right? Like Lucius, or Smiles had him with his feet up by his face, and so he just kind of handed him over like this, and Lucius just grabbed him. He's upside down. They're like 69ing in the air, just like tumbling, twisting over each other. This is the NC-17 part of the
Calm down, bro. Calm down, bro.
Bro, chill, simmer, man.
Just simmer.
All right. The pregnant woman, she huddles closer in your grasp. You're the most stable thing, Rory, and it is your turn as you've got the child and the pregnant woman in your grasp.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look at the closest bridge there. I'm gonna do some math in my head. It's gonna be like that the Hangover when he has all the symbols going on.
Yeah.
And he goes, like he said many times before, "Oh yeah, I can do this," and I'll take off and try and push off and jump onto the bridge with them with me.
All right. Go ahead. You're going to make an athletics check to try to complete this jump with the added burden of the pregnant woman and the child in your grasp. I'm going to say this. I mean, you're a big dude, right?
Sure.
And your carrying capacity is a lot.
And yeah, I carrying capacity is a large creature, even though I'm medium. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So what is your strength modifier?
It is +1. It's 13 is the total ability score.
Okay, so 13. So you have a +1. I will say go ahead and make an athletics check. I'm going to say the DC on this is 15 to try to make the jump.
15, you say?
Yeah.
Should
this is a tough one.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and
With
do
the camera.
Athletics?
With the camera.
Athletics?
It's like before you roll, you can.
Yeah.
You can. Oh wait, you can't bardically inspire yourself, can you? Never
No.
mind.
No.
Yeah. Never mind.
That would be a 7.
7. All right. So you leap, you launch into the air, and for a second you're like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. And then you start getting lower faster. It's like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. And you start to plummet to the ground. I'm gonna let you have a reaction to try to do something here.
I don't have any reactions. I think what's gonna happen is, I'm gonna cast.
You're gonna re-roll another character because you
Yeah,
just
pretty
killed
much.
your first character on.
It's amazing.
30 minutes.
Why not? That's great. Well, automatic reaction. I'm just gonna cast shield and brace. And I'm not gonna lie. He's gonna put them so that he'll take the brunt of it if he can.
Okay. All right. You will cast shield. You will turn your body so that the woman and the child are kind of above you, and you're gonna put yourself between them and the ground.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's do this. Make another athletics check as you're falling.
I would love to. I would love to.
You know what? Here's another thing. Here's what we'll say. There are a half dozen bridges within reaching distance between you and the ground. I'm gonna say roll an athletics check to see if you can grab one at disadvantage.
Ooh.
Because you are still holding the woman and the child, and I'm assuming you're not trying to let them go while you're falling.
No, I'm not. No.
All right.
All right. Disadvantage. Athletics +1 to this, guys. That's a critical failure.
Oh.
That right there. That's a critical. That's a critical failure.
Oh, did I say roll at disadvantage?
You did.
Oh, yeah, I did say disadvantage. Yeah. All right. Okay. All
Well,
right.
hey, if this is all happening once, I might have a solution, but I don't know how that works.
Okay. So you are plummeting to the ground. Valfyre, it's your turn. What are you gonna do?
All right, so bugbears. They're so stupid.
Confident.
So
in what he
many
is.
in my life.
I'm confident.
If I gotta communicate better. Smiles is always saying I should talk more as a leader of the group. Anyways, and so with that, I reach into my pocket. I eat a piece of jerky. I rub the mandibles of a spider, and I turn into a large spider. I walk over to the edge, and then I just spit a web down at him, trying to shoot the web either against the wall and knock him towards and stick him against the wall like a la case Spider-Man, or depending on you shoot a web to try to something to stick him somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Web him up. Web him up. Web him up.
All right. Go ahead, and I'm gonna say make a ranged attack against Hror, who just cast shield on himself, unfortunately. But I'll say the web would not affect the shield would not affect the web because it's not deflecting damage. So go ahead and make a range attack.
All right, +5 to this. critical fail.
Oh my god. Wait a minute.
All right.
No. Can't.
Oh, I know, I can't
Oh, it's-
critical
it's-
fail. I'm a halfling. Halfling's
Oh,
block.
lucky.
Automatic
You get to
reroll.
reroll.
Let's
You get to reroll.
go.
And Tyler, that is a roll. It's a ranged attack. It's an attack. So I mean, you could force him.
But but only yes, I could force the reroll. Actually, and so you rerolled a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I react to that,
Okay. All right.
and I yell out, Valfyre, sometimes, just sometimes, you're an idiot. And I cast Silvery Barbs.
Ooh,
All
that
right.
was a little barb there.
And I think I can I do this? So I'm going to force him to reroll with advantage.
Okay. All right.
That's
Go ahead,
right.
roll.
That's
But,
right.
and then I follow up with a, and you can do it. You can do better.
All right. The passive aggressiveness is a lot here, but Valfyre, you are inspired to.
Oh
roll
my
again.
gosh.
All right, so 22 at this time.
21. That
22.
was 31.
No. I rolled 2 times. I rolled twice.
Okay. All right. So all right. With that roll, the web, kind of as you're Rory, as you're passing by with your burden, plummeting through the air, you pass by a bridge that you try to grab onto, but it slips out of your grasp. Except a web hits your hand and basically glues you to the bridge right at the moment where you lose your grip, and you're just you stop hard, right? But you still manage to hold on to the woman and the child, and you just start swinging wildly against the bridge as the web just kind of fastens you in place.
I knew I could
And then
get it.
telepathically, I just tell Smiles jump on my back as a spider.
Okay. And at the top of the round, I will say that another cable yet snaps, and that the stability that the entangle spell was affording you for a round has like the grass starts to tear, and the massive weight of this metal lift just starts tearing at the grass, and now it is basically tilted at like a 45-degree angle. Smiles, you're still in there. You start tipping, like pitching forward, but you do see the massive spidery form of Valfyre in front of you. As you kind of fall forward, make an athletics check to try to grab onto him as you. I'll give you advantage on this check because he's basically right in front of you, and it's going to be very hard to miss.
Athletics check. That is.
With advantage.
Wait, it only rolled once, even though I clicked advantage.
Oh.
So that's a 7 followed by a 6.
All right.
Guys, off. Good start. Good start. Good start.
Good start. You pitch right by him. You take a step and you happen to just tumble over the spider and you start to go over the edge.
Bonus action. I
Yeah.
misty step up to the top of the.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Get it. All right. Well, technically, it's not your turn yet. Technically, it's not
Right.
your turn.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is. Let's see. We'll say Gargal, Jamila, the old man are all safe for the moment. The old man still struggling in Lucius's grasp. Smiles. It is your turn now. Okay, so we'll say that as you cast Misty Step as you go pitching forward. And then where do you teleport to? Do you just teleport to the top?
To the top, yes.
Okay, yeah. I'll say that you managed to get there without a problem with a puff of what does your Misty Step look like? Describe it.
Yeah, it's actually quite fantastic. It's a silvery mist that goes along with my sterling smile.
Do
And
we
I
see the
kind of-
word BAMF as you disappear?
Yeah. I look over, I flash a smile, and then as my teeth twinkle, it just flashes, and I'm gone.
Is there like a Cheshire Cat smile left behind?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
That's canon now.
Yeah.
Whenever he disappears, the smile is just left behind, and then like a bunch of like sparkly motes just flay off into the wind. All right, you teleport to the top, reappearing in a puff of silvery mist, The injured girl has been put to safety. Lucius, you manage to finally get your wings under you, and you start getting some air. You can easily fly the old man to a safe landing spot if you'd like.
Okay,
But you also see, you saw Smiles just kind of puff away. But yeah, the old man's kind of in your grasp now.
Okay, cool. I will drop him off at the nearest, and then I will fly down nearest landing, and then I will fly down to help the girl, the mother, and the child who are somehow being held by the webbed up bugbear.
Okay. All right. You fly down and you manage to grab onto them. The situation is not quite so panicked right now, so I'll say you managed to get the boy on your back. You managed to hold the woman, and you can fly them up to safety. Maybe just to the same bridge, just for stability's sake, where Rory is kind of holding on. And with that, we will come out of rounds as the danger has passed. And you all see just in time as you kind of look back at the lift, the snap pinging sound of the last cable gives way, and the entire lift just cascades out of the shaft and tumbles to the ground with a massive crunch on the soil bed floor, destroying some structure that was there at the bottom. Not quite sure what it was. It doesn't exist anymore. And the quiet of night starts to settle once more over Cordis as you kind of look around, huffing and puffing and panting and realizing, WTF. And that's where we'll take a quick break and come back to it in just a bit.
Cool.
Nice. Fun.
I was ready to re-roll another character.
All right, we're back. The party has just, or maybe not a party yet, but this group of acquaintances have just rescued several innocent bystanders from potential disaster as the lift inexplicably seemed to be severed from the cables holding it in place, and are now sort of staring at each other in the aftermath of the situation. Deep Crack was pretty much dark at this point as you were starting to descend. Considering most of the buildings here were residential in this particular area, you see now lights start to pop up in all these dark houses as the crash of the lift echoes through the bottom of the canyon, and you hear all kinds of creatures and people start to stir as you see figures coming to their windows, holding out candles and lanterns, trying to discern the source of this great violent disturbance that suddenly rocked the middle of the night. You hear, louder than all of this, a call from above. What in the nine hells did you do to my lift? And you see the familiar form of Wegla, the dwarven lift operator, standing over the shaft, kind of looking with a pained expression over her face, as there are calls and shouts and cries that go out calling for the Stone Wardens, which you know to be like the local police militia force, the standing guard of Cordis. And there was a flurry of activity along the surface and within all the various levels of Deep Crack and the canyon. What are you guys doing?
Raj, have I pulled myself up onto the bridge that I was stuck to?
Yeah. We'll say that you've had time to pull yourself up, yeah. And extricate yourself from the webs. Yeah.
I will pop my owl familiar into existence, and tell it to go. I think this was sabotage. Go look for people running the other way, not at us. Go follow the top of the cables and see if anyone's running away. Okay, come back when you see something.
All right. What is your familiar's name?
Oh crap.
May I recommend?
Owly?
No, we're not going with Owly. I think we already have an Owly. What is his name?
Well, that ends well.
Tootsie.
No, that one's taken. That's TM. I think I have to bleep that.
McElroy. You got Rory and McElroy.
Mike
Mike
you and I really get
it's
that.
A golf joke.
I do know enough about that.
Hooters.
Absolutely not. I will get back to you.
All right. Owl friend, go forth and
Yes.
and spy for me.
Actually,
your
his name
owl-
is just Owl. It's just Owl.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Owl with a lowercase o.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Rory, your intelligence is only surpassed by your creativity.
It is an owl. It's an owl, right? Yeah.
As advertised, yeah. All right,
Such
so
a fantastic bugbear you are.
all right, your owl goes and flies off. Go ahead and have the owl make a perception check for me with its wisdom modifier.
I don't even know what the wisdom modifier is because I'm pulling it up, but it's a natural 20. It is a natural 20.
Okay, pretty good.
I think
Pretty
it's
good.
+3 on Owl.
Thank you.
All right. So the
Wow.
owl, so owl, not the owl, but owl, flies up and starts to circle above, and eventually comes back to you and mentally communicates. Well, Rory, my friend, I did not see anyone traveling hastily in the opposite direction. I saw many people running towards. It was quite the flurry of activity. The stone wardens are coming, and I believe the captain of the guard is here, and it's a mess up there. I saw a mouse. I also saw a mouse. I'm going to go and fetch myself a snack if that's all right with you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure. You gotta eat. I appreciate it. Thanks, bud. I'm gonna go see what's going on. What's
Actually,
what up
point of
there.
order, I don't actually eat. I'm a magical creature, but the instinct to hunt is still bound within me.
Well,
So
but you're
I
an
will-
owl though, so yeah, go hunt. Go do it.
No, I'm not actually an owl. I am a spiritual creature that has taken on the
But
manifestation.
you have
of-
wings. But you have wings, and you got your
These are
head to do that
just-
thing.
It's. Why do I even bother? I'm going to go hunt. I'm going to go hunt, Rory.
Okay. Good luck. Yeah.
Lucius shakes his head at this whole interaction and then flies up to the top and it starts to make an investigation of the cables themselves at the top.
Okay.
Lucius does fancy himself quite a amateur detective. So
If I
Okay.
can climb my way over to Rory and have him jump on my back just to get him to the top quicker.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So you guys are all basically going to the top. Is that it, or?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Smiles also.
I'm at the
Smiles
top
is
already.
Oh,
He's
you're
at the
already
top.
there. Yeah, that's right. You're already there. Yeah, right. Okay, so as you get there, you see a throng of people looking out over the edge, trying to a combination of the stone wardens, who are these leather-clad soldiers, all wearing a longsword and carrying a shield, who are trying to maintain some level of order as throngs of people have kind of come out and are trying to look over the edge to see what has happened, and they're trying to keep people back away from the edge here. You see one of these stone wardens you recognize as one of the more famous figures in town. Her name is Lavella Morestrider. She is the mayor and high marshal of Cordis, occupying both offices. And alongside her is this great bear of a man, not particularly tall, but very wide, with very hairy forearms and a big, thick black beard, by the name of Berman Blaze Trail, her deputy and enforcer, essentially, for the populace and the Stone Wardens. And the two of them are, you see Berman kind of directing the Stone Wardens to cordon off this area, sending a few off to go look in the direction of a potential saboteur. This seems to be a practice sort of routine. You see Lavella, this tall, dark-haired woman, hair tied in a ponytail, rather plain looking, but with a you know her to be very shrewd, and taking a shrewd eye. She has a scar running down from her eye down to her chin, from some long ago battle. And as she kind of hunkers down over the cable, looking at the parts that were snapped, you can see her just kind of chewing on a piece of straw and just kind of stroking her chin as she's kind of kneeling over and examining this massively thick cable in her hand.
Would we have gotten there before her? It's kind of odd that she would have been there by the time we reached the top.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that like it would have taken you like maybe you would have gotten there before like say Rory and Valfyre would have, but like say you would have flown up there pretty quickly. And by the way, if you're not traveling by lift, it's very complex and complicated and long and arduous to get from anywhere within Deep Crack to anywhere else, right? It's a series of like going through tunnels that were built into the walls that connect buildings, climbing ladders from one platform to another, sometimes swinging on a rope from one platform to another and climbing a rope ladder to get to the top. It's very sort of makeshift. And the lift was a grand sort of contraption that was developed that sped up the transportation between top and bottom immensely. So we'll say that it took you guys a few minutes to get up there. You two would have arrived before anyone else and saw this whole scene sort of unfold within a few minutes. Like the stone wardens start to approach, and then the scene start to unfold before you.
Can I investigate the ropes before the stone wardens get there?
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check if you'd like.
And the ropes are like a pulley system or something that goes up above?
So yeah, they're on like a pulley, and they attach to a giant wheel on the ground is being pulled by these claw feet, these massive anteater-like creatures. And
by the ground, you mean up at the top that go down, or down at the bottom of the shaft?
Where's the claw feet?
The claw feet have to be up at the top, right?
Oh yeah, they're at the top. And there's a big wheel basically behind the elevator, essentially, that kind of drags the lift up. Yeah.
Understood.
Sorry, would you roll an investigation?
I rolled a 1 with a +1, so.
Hey, Raj, I know it's terrible. As soon as I get up there, I am gonna sit and immediately start ritually casting detect magic.
Okay, no problem. So with a 1. You know exactly how this happened. The wear and tear, like the elements are so harsh out here, right? The wear and tear on these cables must have been immense. The continuous thunderstorms rolling off of the Cragclaw Mountains off in the distance, the consistent breeze blowing the rocks and pebbles from the broken waste and just chipping away at everything. It must have just been the elements.
Yeah. Man, this place is wearing and tearing everything down, man.
Lucius, you're so insightful.
Open and shut case, man.
You really know what to look for and always give us great insight.
It's right there, man. It's pretty obvious.
Well, I couldn't see it the way you could see it. I'm just so impressed with your eye.
Totally agree. Not an ounce of sarcasm in your voice, and that's what I love about it, man.
At this point,
what is this sarcasm?
Oh, no. Worlds colliding. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. Let's
you'll get stuck.
Draw a line. Separate the two for now. Yeah. For context to those who might be watching, we do have a game on Sunday that we run. That is in somewhat parallel to this one, but separate. Yeah. All right. So,
Paul.
Smiles, would you like to make an investigation check on the ropes as well, or the cables as well, or are you?
I was hoping to make an investigation once detect magic is up, as well.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for that, I'll go investigate.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
I'll say
no need, man. The job is done. Lucius, it's pretty clear.
Lucius, would you mind if I just confirmed your findings so that I can convince other people of how great you are?
Yeah, man, that sounds great.
Oh,
While Smiles is investigating, can Valfyre talk to the lift operator and give them the information that Lucius had said, basically accusing the lift operator of poor maintenance and is the reason for the issue?
I love it.
Yeah, sure.
My friend here says that it's shoddy workmanship led to this. Do you not maintain this lift? Look at this break. He clearly says it's your fault.
Technically, man, I said it was like totally like weather, you know? I mean, yeah, they should have paid attention, but yeah, man, it's not, it's not in a good state, man. It's old. What say you, Smiles, man? You agree?
So I got a 5 on my investigation check.
Yeah, I mean, that seems reasonable. What Lucius is suggesting, that this must have just been like the weathering and the element. All 4 cables must have snapped at exactly the same time due to poor maintenance and just weathering and the elements.
Not a
Mike,
very
I know you're
intelligent
going
character.
for a California surfer dude, but you should watch The Big Lebowski. You know, and
I was actually thinking of integrating more Big Lebowski. It's like totally your opinion, man.
Yeah.
You're out of your element. You're out of your element.
You're out of your element, Donnie.
It's my rug, man. It's the principles.
All right. So
the rug really pulled the room together, man.
So the
Rory and Valfyre, you guys get up to the top. Rory, you cast your detect magic spell. At about this time is when the Stone Wardens come out and have started investigating everything, and Lavella Morestrider is making her own personal investigation. Valfyre, as you're talking to the lift operator, Wegla Copperknuckle is her name. She's relatively young looking, but she is and she's taller than you, right? So you're kind of pointing up at her. Relatively young looking dwarf woman with blonde hair, streaks of red going through it, braided very ornately in the back, and wearing sort of like similar to what the Stone Wardens might wear, like a leather jack, but without all the symbology representing her as a Stone Warden, indicating that she's really like an employee of the city, essentially. And so as you're kind of like, she's staring aghast and barely paying attention to you, but as soon as you start accusing her, she turns a fiery gaze upon you and just rips into you. Ain't no tiny pointy-eared halfling going to tell me I don't take care of my lift. And she launches into a verbal recounting of the maintenance procedures that she has enacted over the last 45 days. Every single day an inspection, every 15 days oiling of the pulleys, every 20 days inspection of the cables, testing of the lift. She reminds you of how the lift was closed for half a day not 2 weeks ago for operational maintenance and testing. And she just, basically shoves your accusation back in your face. It could not have been the elements. There's no way.
The woman with the scar who was investigating.
Lavella.
Could I approach her and say, so tell me, what do you see happened here?
She looks up at you for a second and looks back to the cables. Thought I told Berman, get all the civilians out of here.
I'm merely here to help. I was on the lift when it happened. I think I might have information that's of value to you.
She spits on the ground and stands up slowly. And she stands a good 6 inches above you and looks down at you. She's a very tall woman and then says, yeah? What do you got to say there?
Well, I think it might help me just to know what you think about the cables first.
I'd like to get your eyewitness account, if that's all right with you, son.
Well, absolutely. We had just stepped on to the lift. It had just begun its descent, and we were making conversation with you might have actually heard of my friends and I. We were part of the I forget the name of our
I know who
club.
you are. Smiles.
Yeah. Of course. Good to see you. Always such a pleasure. And we lost 3 of our own. It was quite sad. And we just heard one cable snap after another.
Make a persuasion check.
With pleasure.
Make sure to ignore
25.
it. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
All right. Her hard gaze turns slightly softer, but she still has this very stern look on her face. And she kind of nods down to the cable and hunkers down next to it, kind of beckoning you to do the same.
Yeah, I come in close and take a look.
Okay. She lifts up, one thick arm of the cable. See here, expertly sliced. This was gonna give after some time, not right away. Whoever did this knew what they were doing. And she shows you the striations in the pattern of the cut that show that some of them were lacerated at a very precise angle, but not entirely, so that the thing under the weight of the lift would start to pull apart. Each one of these cables were done the same.
Well, gosh golly, when I looked at it, I just assumed that was wear and tear. Just like Lucius said.
I'll bet you did. Who's this Lucius you're speaking of?
Hey,
Lucius, just my buddy.
I'm over here, man. Like, totally looked like wear and tear to me. I took a good look at it. When I was, on that lift with you, it was clear as day. That was wind, torn, sand, dirt, rocks, whatever. Sunlight. Have you seen sunlight do damage to rope? Woo-wee.
Thank you for your
Lucius is very
expert
smart.
testimony on this matter. I would like to get your statements. Are y'all staying in town? Let me rephrase that. You all are staying in town. Don't go very far.
That sounds
Raj, in the
kinda like-
background, in the background, I think Rory is doing his blade, like his song dance to detect magic coming up. Did anything pop? Did any residue of magic on this stuff? I mean, they're thick cables.
Yeah, you cast detect magic. Your eyes light up with the telltale glow of being able to see through the weave of magic that kind of permeates the world and is illuminated by the spell. You do not detect anything magical
Okay.
around the cables themselves
Okay.
or in the immediate vicinity.
Okay.
Valfyre is just like getting ripped by this dwarf, and
Yeah, she goes on. She goes
Listen.
off on you for like 5 minutes. And make a wisdom saving throw.
26.
Okay. You don't cry, but a lesser person probably would have under the verbal lashing that she has given you, which not only is full of expletives and would just tear down the emotional walls of any normal person, but it's so full of logic and refutation to your accusation that there's really just no leg left to stand on. And so you have no choice but to retract your initial assumption.
I don't like to be wrong, but you make a lot of sense. My friend Lucius here, though. I'll have to talk to him. He's always making claims.
Don't talk to your friend then. What do I care? Off with ye.
Well, good luck finding another job, you loser. And I'll walk away.
Jesus.
Such a vicious barb.
Listen, it would have been a sweet death.
Yeah.
Life has more for me.
As you're walking away, she picks up a rock, like a small one, and just like chucks it at your back. Get ye gone, ye blasted halfling, blast and be bothered, ye! I'll see ye in the nine hells! And she's just shouting off in the night as you walk away. All right. So the rest of you, Rory, you detect nothing with your detect magic. Smiles and Lucius, you're standing there with Lavella, who forcefully encourages you all to remain close and stay nearby so that she can come and question you, as her number one priority at this point is making sure the people are safe and trying to assess the damage to the area.
So,
I'll pipe
walk
up.
Go
Go ahead,
yeah.
Paul.
Jump in. No, you can.
Oh, I'm just gonna pipe up and say, well, yeah, we'll be staying in Deep Crack, so yeah, we'll be around. We want to know what happened here too, because I mean, it seems like somebody wanted us gone, so we would like to go fight them.
And and I'll say, yeah, we'll be around, but you need to tell us. There's rumors of multiple of these lifts falling. Do you have any clues to why these are falling? What have you seen? Not that we can help you. We're not private investigators or anything like that. But tell us more. Tell us everything you know.
She looks at you and says, "Not at liberty to discuss these matters with your like."
I
Perhaps
say,
if you-
I'm sure you could tell us a little bit of something.
We did almost die.
So you all four of you were on the lift when it happened. Then, is that what you're saying?
And we lost 3 of our friends while
I
saving.
saved a
one.
pregnant lady. Yeah.
One ran away, but we did. We lost them. I guess 2 we lost. Technically, we lost 3 because we don't know where they are. But definitely 1 is dead. But 2 are lost, I would say. So 3 lost, I would say, is fair to say.
I forgot they didn't die.
So you speak quite literally, using the word "lost" here. All right.
We lost 3 friends. It's true.
What? Tell me where you're
We
staying.
do not know where they are.
Where are we staying? We're staying at hey, Smiles, where were we going?
Well, we were just on our way to see Mr. Carothers.
Yeah, but we stay near the arena where we're I'm assuming we have rooms where we battle. I don't know. Do we actually know where we're staying?
I have no idea.
There are a couple of inns in Cordis. One of them, the Wealthy Wagoneer, and both of these locations are familiar to you. The Wealthy Wagoneer is probably the highest quality in tavern in Cordis. It's simple but very comfortable. Caters to like a generally pleasant clientele. A lot of after work carousing goes on there. Considered a general meeting place for those looking to relax after a hard day's work. The other place is down at the bottom of Deep Crack and is known as the Flounder Pounder. Lesser quality inn. It's by the lake. There's a waterfall that cascades into the bottom of Deep Crack over the southern end of it and forms a lake there. This inn is by the lake. It's where the seedier folk tend to hang out. So named because they make a famous fish mash there with a mallet. But those are the 2 sort of main inns in Cordis.
Raj, I'm imagining that Lucius has been staying at neither and has been kicked about by the stone wardens.
Stone wardens, okay, yeah.
For sleeping as a vagrant in various perches and buildings on the roofs over his time. So he's just basically kind of maybe passively known to them as like, oh god, this guy.
Sure. Yeah. So we'll say, when Lavella was speaking with the 2 of you, she was very, she's like, I know who you are. She gave Smiles like a nod, and then she gave you like a shake of the head. She's like, I know who you are too.
Well, I think it's fair to say, like, without us knowing that, like, I'd be like, you'll find us at the arena, whatever the arena is called, because that's where we spend some of our time.
The Obsidian Ring.
Yeah.
The Obsidian Ring, yeah.
No, the quarry. The quarry is what it's called.
Oh, the quarry.
Oh, the quarry.
Sorry.
The quarry. Yeah.
Yeah, the Obsidian Ring.
That's right. Sorry, is the gang? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So, you so what do you tell her then? Where you're staying? You tell her you're staying at the quarry. Basically, you can find. She can find you at the quarry. Okay. All right. Got it. All right. So, she's like, I'll find you there soon enough. In the meanwhile, I could use your help. Get out of here so I can get business done here.
Yeah, okay, we'll be on our way.
All right, so do we want to meander our way down to the deepest of the Deep Crack, or
continue our journey?
We can. Real quick, I would just like, Valfyre would like to, like, sometimes criminals like to see their work. Can I just perception check the general audience to look for anyone with a hat and glasses and an upturned collar, perhaps in a long trench coat?
Yes.
That just, or someone with a strange
trench coat.
Yeah.
strange mustache, perhaps, or any of the classic
modern
Yeah.
disguises. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Go ahead and make a perception check then to find out, see if anybody strikes your interest.
I'm really regretting my very, very low wisdom score because I am not perceptive.
You mean you're enjoying it? You're enjoying it.
My 10. So
10.
10, yeah, which is just
All right.
average. So
You don't see anyone like sort of disguised and cackling at their handiwork. But you do. I will say there are several onlookers who, despite the intervention of the Stone Wardens and trying to push the crowd back, that persist in looking on at the events in train wreck style fashion, right? But
anyone like any certain races or creeds or anything that would stand out to me in my time?
No, not particularly. I mean, one of a few of them are like dragonborn. Most of them human. Maybe a smattering of other races. What
about that guy that we saw the dragonborn that we saw in the suit of armor? Is he around or no?
Merciless. Yeah, you do not see him anywhere. He seems to have vacated the premises, or at least go ahead and make another perception check. See if you can find him. He's not actually too hard to spot.
25.
Okay. Yeah, you do see him among the crowd, actually. He has sort of lawfully and peacefully abided by the Stone Wardens, kind of pushing everyone back, and is looking around like sort of quizzically, much like everyone else, trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay. All right. That was it.
Yeah. So what are you guys doing?
Can we get down to Deep Crack now? How long will it take?
So,
Yeah.
I mean, the lift would have had you there very swiftly. At this point, it's probably going to take you probably about 45 minutes to kind of navigate your way through all the buildings to get there.
Yeah, I say we do it.
Yep.
Okay. So
let's
sorry,
go.
you're going where specifically? You're going into Deep Crack to go to the address that was on the letter.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You make your way down like a platform, a wooden platform, kind of jutting over the edge of the canyon. And as you walk down a set of like fire escape type of stairs and make your way to like the next landing, you go inside a building and you see in the stone wall like a tunnel kind of carved into the wall leading back further into the canyon. You follow this narrow and dark tunnel and emerge in another building. The first one you went into was like just a general sort of like public house, like drinking establishment. The one you emerge into seems to be like a laundromat of some kind, where there's like boiling cauldrons and they're stirring, and like people here, like they have tunnels going all through their establishments, and no one seems to pay any mind as people are kind of walking through because they know that they have to use it for public sort of egress. And as you kind of walk through, you go onto a catwalk. You go to another platform. You crawl down a ladder. You go across to another platform, etc., until you get to the 4th level and you find the house in question at the address. On the northern side of the canyon, on the western wall, you see that there is an abandoned house, a 2-story structure with boarded windows and a boarded door. No light seems to be emanating from in, and you're in a sort of an abandoned part of town that is overlooking the mines on the northern end. The mines that have like rails and carts kind of going into this deep cavern at the floor. You're just standing at this house overlooking them on this very narrow railing in front of this house in front of you that seems to be abandoned.
I'll turn to Smiles. Hey, bud, you said we were having a chance to fight. That's why we're getting called here?
You will have a chance to fight. I believe that to be true. Gosh, let me check this address here. Let's see.
I was gonna say, Valfyre would be like, "Give me that. Is this the right address, you fool?"
As this happens, I'm pulling from my component pouch a piece of dried leather and kind of shaking it around in a little pattern and casting Mage Armor on myself.
Okay. The rest of you watch as Rory's body starts to glow for a second. Describe what does your Mage Armor look like?
I think he starts to glow like a little bit, but then it kind of goes back inside, and instead the patches of bald fur, where there have been some burns, you see some sparks or some light start to shine out just from those little spots, and then it ends.
Okay.
So it's trying to get out, but it just finds the bald places and then it pops.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Do you
Yeah,
wear
so-
armor, or you wear like a robe, or what's the attire? Or just all like Chewbacca, just all fur, and a spell component pouch.
He's actually got like he has a he's actually dressed pretty well. He having learned from his mentor that appearances matter, and even though the rest of him scares people off, at least he can dress nicely. So he's got some nice clothes on.
Are they burn marks on the clothes?
Yeah, absolutely. But they were nice, but they're localized. Yeah.
Got it.
Very good.
It's like if you were in a suit, but then like you had just a char spot. You know what I mean? Like you'd be like, "That's a nice suit." Oh, damn. Yeah.
All right.
So I say, it looks like I just have, but I maybe was holding it upside down, and I turn the scroll over the other way, and I say, yes. It was 10H is what we were looking for.
You seem to be at the address indicated by the letter, but the house does seem to be abandoned.
Yeah. So, shall we knock?
Yeah, man. Let's totally walk up to it, man. He's probably just got the lights out taking a nap, man. Let's just go inside.
Owl pop in and yeah.
Hello, Rory. Yes. What can I do for you?
Hey, bud. Can you go? Is there anybody in that house right there?
Oh, I don't. It does not appear to be. I can fly in if you'd like. And
I
inspect
would.
for you.
That'd be great.
I will do as such. Once again, commanded by you to do this task.
Well, I mean, I asked, but I appreciate it. Yeah.
Owl flies off and goes to a second-story window that has been boarded up, and kind of creeps his way inside, and then you hear inside once more. About a minute goes by before you hear the telltale flapping of, and he comes back and says, "House appears to be abandoned. I could not find a single soul."
Well, that's not good. You think that this was all a ruse and we were supposed to just get in a lift and die, or do you think there's anybody around here?
Oh, quick.
What do I think? Well, what's more important is what do you think, good Rory?
No, are you talking to are you talking to us or your pet owl? I can't tell, Rory.
You
Sometimes.
must remember,
yes.
they cannot hear what I'm saying. This is purely a mental communication.
Who are you talking to, Rory?
Well, that makes a lot of sense, and I'll turn to them and relay that there's no one in the house.
That was obvious.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can do for you, good Rory?
No, go out and hunt. Get yourself some nice mouse.
I will do that.
Makes you think of your secret servant, Mr. Belvedere. Tea time already, sir. No, this is from another campaign.
I'd like to take out the
Bag of
bag
gold.
of gold?
Yes.
and take a piece out and check if it's real.
Okay. Yeah, it looks to be a real gold piece. By all estimation, there are 20 pieces of gold in that pouch, as a matter of fact.
Excellent.
Well,
May I add them to my inventory?
It is in your hand. You may add them to your inventory.
Yeah.
You could totally divide that by 4, man. Spread the wealth, man.
I will, but I imagine there's much more for us where this came from.
What the?
All right.
I'll hold on to
the
it.
heck?
It is ours. We were called by name.
Something is off here. Clearly, we were set up.
Well, man, I still think we should go walk in this house, man.
So go walk in the house, man.
All right. Lucius just strides towards the door.
Okay.
He's like, I don't understand, man. What
I
the
want to back
fear
up
is.
30 feet.
I'm going with a stinky bird. Yeah, I'll pull up my rapier and trail after him.
Okay. You go. The door. The front door is boarded up. By the way, there are planks of wood and metal against the door frame, kind of boarding the door, preventing entry.
I yell out, "Hello, Calabasas, are you here? Calabasas, hello!"
Hello, 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 hello. Your voice echoes throughout the canyon. No response.
Lucius turns and goes, "Hey man, should we start like taking these boards off so we can get inside this house, man?"
I mean, we could.
Fantastic idea, as usual, Lucius.
Is there not a bar down this level? Perhaps we could go to this bar and ask about this character, see if anyone knows of him.
While you're saying that, he's 1-inch punching his way through the wooden planks.
Yeah.
Seeing this, Rory is just like foot, just kicking, trying to do that thing.
That's
where
right.
you kick a door.
Valfyre shakes his head because at the quarry he's seen these two in action and just has never been impressed. As they're just doing this stupid thing, and then she's like,
Yeah.
He's like, "No, man, it's better when you only do it from 1 inch. 1 inch, man."
I have such long arms there though, bud. And the legs are really long.
No, man, 1 inch. That's it. That's all you need.
That's what she said.
All right. So as you continue to pound at the door, go ahead and make both of you can make an attack roll against the door.
Oh, unarmed strike, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Or you know what? Go ahead and make an athletics check. I mean, just a general sort of trying to bash the door down kind of thing. Yeah.
Is there anyone while they do that? Is there anything else around us? Like, is there any sounds, anything going on?
Make a perception check.
19.
Natural 20 for a 21.
Wow. Okay. So the door, while the boards kind of block entry, the door itself is pretty rotted, and with a couple of pushing and punches and kicks and shoving, the door itself collapses. The boards are still there, kind of bolting it off, but you could probably angle your way through if you wanted to. But it collapses, and a huge cloud of dust just like shoots out from inside the house, enveloping all those of the two of you standing nearby. It clearly has not been opened in quite some time.
Well, that's not a good sign.
No, man. No, let's should we go check out something else? Like, yeah, man, like, or should we go inside? Who's in for going inside?
Okay. I know you'll always make the right choice.
Valfyre, you see anything outside?
I'm just looking for like any sounds. What did I roll? Yeah,
it was very high.
23.
Mm-hmm.
23.
I'm just looking. I'm just seeing if like anyone's. This is what Valfyre is doing. He's seeing these two, and he's like turns his back to the door, and just is scanning the area of this. I don't know. I'm assuming the whole area is kind of, what's it called? Like low town-esque. You know what I mean? With like buildings and stuff. Just looking for anything outside the norm. Just preceding it as they're attacking.
Yeah. So with the 23, so this part of town is completely unlit. It's dark here, right? So actually, technically, you should roll with disadvantage because I don't think
damn. Yeah, I actually don't have dark. I don't have dark vision. So
yeah.
I think I have dark vision.
You do not.
I don't.
You do not.
I don't.
Yeah.
I thought I did.
Actually, only one of you does.
I pull out my moonlit, my scimitar.
Okay.
And I pull it out to shed light, but it doesn't shed a lot of light, but whatever can see within distance.
Yeah. It's still dim light, so I'd say roll with disadvantage, but
sure,
but
let me hold on, let me roll. So 10.
10. Yeah, so what you see below you, about like 20 feet below you, is the bottom of the canyon. And you're looking at the mines essentially, with a sort of like a superstructure built over the entrance of the mine, and like rail cars kind of going in, some of them filled with ore, just kind of left there at the end of the day's work. Across from you, about like 40-50 feet, on the other side of the canyon, you see another platform where another group of buildings are arrayed, also completely dark. And then looking up and above, you see like the tiers of the deep crack, going off into the night. But you don't see any people. There's nothing around here really.
Is Flounder Pounder down here?
Flounder Pounder is on the base level by the lake at the southern end, so at the opposite end of Deep Crack.
Okay, all right.
I just say
It's not a terrible. It's not terribly far. It'll be easier for you
Right.
to get there than it would be to go back to the
Yeah,
surface
yeah.
and go to like the wealthy wagoneer.
Yeah, I think I'll turn to Lucius and go, "Hey, bud, I'm pretty sure we were set up. So right now, at the top of my list is this guy Calabasas Carothers. I think we're gonna have some words, and by words I mean fists for him."
Bro, man, that sounds good. I think maybe not the fist part, but we
I have
could
a
talk to
rapier.
him. We could talk to him first, man. Did we say there's other houses around here?
They're all dark. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are other buildings, houses. Some of them look to be abandoned. Some of them no lights inside them.
Okay.
I like Paul's flounder bar
Yeah.
idea to go ask around.
Yeah, agree.
Okay.
I'm in.
All right, so you guys head to the Flounder Pounder.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, so you make your way out of this area, and within about another 30 minutes or so, you find yourselves at the southern end of the of Deep Crack, where you, as you approach, the sound of the waterfall at the end starts to envelop your ears, and you can see this area of town is much more brightly lit. You make your way, crossing down a staircase to the ground level, passing through several fields of crops that are growing down at the bottom, and as your feet touch the ground, you feel like soil, like soft, moist soil, growing or allowing things to grow down here, in stark contrast to the rocky surface above. As you make your way towards the sound of the waterfall starts to envelop your ears, you see the area is very well lit, and at the edge of this lake, you see standing on stilts this rickety old building with a few boats kind of tied to it, a warm light emanating through the windows, and whenever the door opens, a drunken patron stumbling out or some trying to get drunk stumbling in, you hear like the loud cacophonous roar of revelry and sounds of joy kind of echoing into the night. Seem to be seemingly undisturbed by the accident that just happened within the last hour, or maybe everybody's just too drunk to notice. And as you kind of like climb the stairs leading up to the top of the platform and the stilts on which this building lies, you can see carved into the door is the in the wood is a carving of like a fish with X's in its eyes, and with a hammer kind of driving down into the middle of it, and you can see like stuff being splattered about on the surface of whatever this is, indicating that this is in fact the Flounder Pounder. Some of you have probably been here before, but as you enter, it's loud, it is uproarious. There are drunken types everywhere, stumbling into each other, spilling drinks. It is kind of a madhouse in here, and as you enter, no one seems to pay you any mind. It's sort of like the Mos Eisley of Cordis, where you see races of all types at the bar, kind of pushing and shoving each other, playing games of chance, arm wrestling competitions, etc. And a few hushed conversations going on in the corners between hooded figures that don't want to be seen. Or perhaps in some shady sort of undertaking.
One point of order, since only one of us has dark visions, like I have the sword that shines light. What's everyone else's like plan for light? Especially because we're down the bottom, we traveled a bit to get there. Who has dark vision? I don't even know.
No,
Is the bugbear? Yeah.
I
What
could have
about,
sworn when I was
Lucius?
making the character, it had dark vision, but as I'm looking through, definitely does not.
You guys just have torches, or stay with my light?
I have
think-
nothing. I have nothing in my inventory.
I would say Lucius believes in the value of natural flame and the joy that comes with creating and lighting. So he doesn't believe in like oil lamps. So he has like torches and candles.
And tomorrow I will have light.
All right.
Spell.
So,
Okay.
as you enter,
I was thinking. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Raj. Yeah.
As
No, I was
as
just
you
thinking.
enter,
Sorry.
go,
No, you go. No, you go. You go.
No,
You
you go. No, you go.
go. You go.
That
I
was
love
well
playing
done.
over Zoom. I love playing over this. All right, go ahead.
That's it. No, I was only joking.
All right, so as you enter the Flounder Pounder, behind the bar, you see a large, bald, pot-bellied man with an eye patch. He's got a cigar like hanging out the side of one mouth, and you can see yellowed teeth kind of crunching on the end. And before him, on with a giant stone mallet, you see a fish, a flat fish like a flounder, being arrayed on a stone. What do you call it? Like a cutting board, kind of stone board, essentially. And he drops he lays the fish on there. Very deftly fillets it with a knife, pulling out the spine of the creature and the tail, chopping off the head, probably still leaving a ton of bones in there and cartilage, throwing on a potato on there, throwing on a turnip, unpeeled, just raw, and then just starts going to town, just mashing the whole thing. Boom, boom, boom. And you hear like the wooden bar just kind of like rattling and echoing throughout the Flounder Pounder as he does this. He takes a giant spatula, almost like the kind you'd serve, put into like a pizza oven. He throws the whole thing into like a vat of boiling oil, and it starts floating on the top, and you can see oil kind of spatter everywhere, and he just like wipes his hands on his greasy apron, and he goes on to the next one and starts dropping another fish and more, filleting it and dropping more vegetables on top, and just like starts smashing it again.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think Rory tried to stay at the Wealthy Wagoneer, and maybe wasn't, I don't know if he was looked too kindly upon there, and so he's probably stayed at the Flounder Pounder a few times and probably would know this guy. What's his name?
Yes, so his name is Pikar. He's a well-known fixture here. Obviously has sampled a little too much of the fish mash that he's creating by his portliness, and seems to just kind of have a decidedly apathetic air about him. And the rest of you, as you kind of walk in, you can see the clientele is definitely on the seedier side. There are you see one or two goblins kind of making their way around here. There's an orc in here as well, and nobody seems to be paying any mind that these creatures are here.
Yeah, so I also think Valfyre with the eligibility of Disguise Self would probably visit here, but not as Valfyre, the halfling. He would visit as a disguised self as like this shorter-looking older dwarf with a patch eye. So before they go into there, he casts Disguised Self on him as the dwarf known as Bad Breath, and we'll enter the pub as that disguise.
Okay.
I'll make a. Can I call it to Pikar?
Yeah.
Hey Pikar. Probably gonna need another room tonight. I think we gonna get stuck down here. You, can I introduce you to my friends here? This is Stinky Bird's Lucius. This is my friend Smiles. I don't know who this is, but anyway, we need some help.
I got 2 rooms, if you like. 2 silver, plus meal. He nods over to the boiling oil with the fish cakes floating about in them. You can see an eye of a fish kind of caked into one of them that is slowly kind of like frying over.
Looks delicious, but we need information. Smiles, take it away.
Hey, Pikar, if it doesn't trouble you too much, have you ever heard a gentleman by the name of Calabasas Carothers?
He stops in the middle of his pounding and puts his bulky form, like rests him on the arms and kind of looks down at you. Says, don't know that name, but information's gonna cost you. You know
Oh, gosh. I do know. You know how much would information like that cost? Good information.
Good information can cost good money.
Yeah, well, good to me. Good to me is like a piece of bronze. But what's good to you?
Maybe good for both of us. And he goes back to pounding on his fish.
So you're saying bronze is good for you?
By bronze, do you mean like copper?
copper.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what what are the denominations?
It's like copper,
there?
silver, and
Copper,
gold
silver,
are
gold,
the common denominations.
Yes, copper. That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. He seems to be ignoring you at the mention of copper.
This is the cheapest bard.
I just bump into and I'm like, he's embarrassing us, but just tell him, tell him, Smiles, just to start the bidding. Go.
All right. Okay, so I take out I take out a piece of silver and I say, but perhaps this will tickle your fancy.
Make a persuasion check
Oh, you don't want that.
for saying tickle your fancy.
It was I rolled a natural 1.
But you
but
can
I
take
bel-
it's a 10
but I believe
plus your persuasion.
But I believe that I will silver tongue that into a 10 plus 9 for a 19.
19. Okay. He slides the silver off the bar and pockets it instantly. He finishes pounding a few more pounds into the current fish cake that he's making and shoves it into the oil. Slams the mallet on the table and kind of leans in close, and you can start to smell his very foul cigar breath mixed in with fish as he kind of leans into.
It's a fish cigar. Yeah.
It's like a fish cigar. Yeah. And,
I bet you get a lot of ladies.
You have no idea, mate. No idea.
I'll like to hear about it one day.
I'll be happy to tell you, but I've got something else to tell you right now. Another one came by asking for the name Carothers. Oh, I don't know this bloke. Never heard of him. Someone else asking about him. Twice in one night arouses me suspicions, yeah?
Oh, mine too. Let me ask you, this person who asked about him before, what he looked like?
Real fancy sort. Dressed in nice fancy robes. A dragonborn. Green scales.
Would I know who that is? I sort of pay attention to the Dragonborn in this city.
Make a history check.
Oh, I would love to.
The Dragonborn in the was he wearing? Go ahead, Tom.
22.
22 on history. There's really only one person this could have been. An older green Dragonborn, meticulously dressed, seemed to be kind of a wealthy sort. This is, as strange as it sounds, this might be Sidonius, known to be a bit of a recluse and an old codger, but has donated much to the establishment of Cordis, and is generally very well respected in town when he makes his rare sort of public appearance. Sidonius is a recluse and rarely comes out into public, and lives in sort of his wealthy manor, multi-story manor on the 3rd level, not too overlooking the lake, so a very sort of like a ritzy kind of part of the town.
Have I ever seen Sidonius?
Sidonius, make a history check.
Sidonius.
While he's checking, I'm gonna grab the letter from Miles and give it a read over.
Yeah,
because
that's an 18.
Ooh.
You don't recall ever having seen this figure, but based on the way Rory might be describing it, it doesn't seem likely that you would have run into him just on the street.
Yeah, okay.
I am reading the letter. Hey guys, this guy said he's got interest in what we do, and maybe wants to. What does he want to do? Mutual beneficial
business proposition.
Do you think maybe he was trying to take out his competition?
I think we should find this Sidonius.
Can I look around to there? You said there's whispered conversations going on. Some of the more sober people who look like regulars. I just hey Smiles, will you go ask these guys if they know if anyone lives in that house down the road there, up the way there?
Sure. So I will cautiously approach the more sober folks and say, Are they gentlemen? Are they ladies? Are they mixed?
You see, they are. One is a halfling, and the other is a dragonborn with blue scales that seem to be conversing. Their hoods kind of drawn low, a burning candle on the small table between them as they're sitting in the corner, just discussing things that you can't quite pick out.
All right, so I approach cautiously, and I say, pardon me, gentlemen. May I interrupt you for just a moment?
They look up at you, startled, almost as if they haven't noticed. You can see the halfling has tears streaming down her face, and the dragonborn, also a woman, is kind of like holding her hand, and they kind of look up at you. They don't say it, they're just like shocked at the interruption.
Backfire.
Ladies, but please forgive me. Please forgive me for interrupting. Might I borrow a minute of your time?
Now is not the time. Please be gone with you.
I'm so sorry. Pardon the interruption. Is there anything I could do to help you before I go?
Just leave. Please.
Lucius, seeing this, says in his head, "It's a great idea," and he walks up to a different table.
Okay.
Nice.
And he just goes, "Brosifs, can I totally chat you up for a minute and ask you a question? I have some need of some direcciones. You know what I'm saying?"
The conversation pauses as the Aarakocra approaches, and it's a table of 4 humans, all sort of fishermen-like in appearance, wearing, not the finest of clothing, and just reeking of fish, talking about the day's catch, essentially. You all would know that the waterfall that spills over that spills over the cliffside and into the lake at the bottom actually carries with it a fair amount of fish, and you know that these fish are large flounder like, but seem to bear minerals embedded in their scales, having been carried from distant parts of the broken waste and eventually kind of absorbing bits of quartz and mica here and there in their scales. And so there's always like a crunchy kind of feel to the fish that you're chewing on with a decidedly salty taste.
Yeah, Lucius, unaware of all of that, sits right down next to them. I imagine one of his wings knocks over a drink or a plate or utensils or something as he sits down. And he goes,
okay. Clank.
Buddies, bros, you ever heard of a man by the name of Calabasas Carothers or something, right? Something like that.
They all kind of look quizzically at each other. Well, reckon my memory might be a little bit refreshed if my palate were a little refreshed. You get my drift?
I do. And he brings out his water skin and just fills up their glass, which probably had half a cup of ale in there.
Valfyre's just shaking his head, both at Smiles and now at Lucius, like their inability to understand how this place works.
Yeah.
And just
so the water
out,
here,
round for the house. No, I don't know.
Yeah. So the water in Cordis smells awful. It comes from this lake, from this runoff, and captures with it all these minerals and bears a definite like sulfurous kind of smell with it as well. And so as you pour like the sulfurous water into whatever he was drinking, the smell of like rotten eggs just kind of like pours out over the table, and everyone's like, oh, and he kind of just like shoves his ale away. It's like, sorry friend, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
But bro, man, you haven't even help. I gave you what you wanted with some water. I just want some information, man. Just help a bird out.
I ain't got no information for you. You're gonna have to leave.
Anyone else want water or something like that? No?
They're all shaking. They're all like pointedly like looking away from you.
All right, well, all right. See y'all later. He gets up. As he spins around, his wings definitely knock over more drinks.
Okay, Cling's like, oh! There's a cry of just like disgruntlement. Is like, oh, stupid Aarakocra brings wings into a place like this.
Yeah.
All right. As you all are trying to make your way through the crowd, trying to discover some information, the door slams open. Not through any force. The door is just on a loose hinge. And looking into and looking into or looking outward, you see entering the Flounder Pounder a relatively short, which means still standing about 6 feet tall, dragonborn figure with emerald green scales and a long sort of frill rising from the top of his head, bearing a rather distinguished look and wearing fine green robes that kind of match the tint of his scales. He is carrying in his hand a cane carved of pure ebony, which is a very, very rare wood in this part, and in itself is capped with a very large pearl, being held by what looks like dragon-like sort of clawed fingers carved into the staff or into the cane. And he looks about, kind of scanning the area, before his eyes settle on the four of you, and he starts to make his way towards you all with as much haste as he can muster, which is tempered significantly by his regal sort of demeanor and the crowd itself that he's trying to filter his way through. And as he finally approaches you all, he speaks in a very regal voice, and we will find out what he says next week.
Ooh.